Hi friends. I've had 4 hours of sleep, I ate a slice of bologna for breakfast. Let's make a video, shall we? So it's a little late in the day, so I really want to get this rolling. I'm really looking forward to today's video. I have been for quite some time, and I've been accumulating these things over the course of a few months, just so by the time I was filming this, I would have a full face of drugstore products. I've actually never done a full face of one specific thing on my channel. It's hard to accumulate that much stuff from one place, but I feel like drugstore videos are always relevant. People are always looking for product recommendations for the drugstore. It's the most accessible place we have to purchase makeup from. I always love watching these videos. I love hearing about people's favorites, people's absolute fails, and I love finding hidden gems at the drugstore that work just as well as any high-end product you would find at Sephora. There's some stuff here that I know, that I've tested, that is just tried and true, and there's a lot of stuff here that I have never used before, never touched, and then there's some things in here that I want a little bit of redemption on. I want to give it a second chance. And that's it. So if that sounds like fun to you, then please keep on watching and let's get started. But not before I take a few big old gulps of this coffee. So we've got some E.L.F, we have some Maybelline, we have some Loreal, some NYX, and some fun things from Milani. Milani seems to be the hardest brand to find at the drugstore, at least in Canada, at least in British Columbia where I live. They're not the most widely distributed drugstore brand, which for me then makes me covet it more. So whenever I see a stand at the drugstore of Milani, I make a beeline directly for it, but I digress. Let's just hop right into it. All right, first things first, we prime. I already primed at home before I left the house with the Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Face Mist Sunscreen. It is SPF 50. I just sort of found out as a fluke that it works really well as a primer. It's super hydrating and even gives the skin a really nice glow underneath my foundation. So I've been using that an awful lot, even in the wintertime, because SPF is important. The next thing I really wanted to try out for myself, because I've seen so many people rave about this and also claim it to be a dupe for the Tatcha Silk Canvas, which I do like, is the E.L.F Poreless Putty Primer. I'm not usually a pore filling primer kind of gal, but every now and then I do like to throw just a little bit of the Silk Canvas, kind of just in this T-zone, maybe where I'm feeling a bit ultra shiny, maybe a little bit textured, and my skin has to be behaving quite well in order for me to actually use a pore filling primer. However, skin's not doing so bad, all things considered. Why don't we give it a shot? Doesn't smell like anything. It feels like a balm almost, like an oily balm. I thought it would have a thicker consistency, but it's emulsifying quite quickly. Anyway, let's take a little bit of this onto my finger and just dot it in a couple areas where I sometimes need some pore filling. And just like I would use the Silk Canvas, I'm going to press this into my skin really firmly instead of swiping, because if you swipe around a pore filling primer, it's just going to create streaks and it's going to be patchy. This feels a lot more hydrating than I was expecting, but it seems to be disappearing into the skin. Once it's been applied, I can definitely feel a smoothness, like a silicone type feel, but it's not as thick as the Silk Canvas. I don't know. Pores still look like pores. It feels smooth and hydrating. Now, the foundation I brought to the table today is one that I have used before on my channel. If I can remember to look for that video, I will link it up here. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour fresh wear that tons of beauty gurus absolutely swear by. And the last time I used it, it was not a fun time. It really reminds me actually of the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, which, if you heard me ranting about Tarte before, is probably the worst foundation of all time, at least for me. And this kind of reminds me of that. It's kind of watery. So many people believe in this, and I want to believe them. I want to believe these people who just think this is the holy grail of drugstore foundations. I want to believe them. I've noticed that if I try and dab it on in areas and then blend it out, the foundation kind of just clings to those areas and leaves you with spots of foundation that don't blend out. That being said, I'm going to try something different today. I was recently watching a Thomas Halberd video on his favorite drugstore products. He brought up this foundation. I rolled my eyes, but then he said, wait, use it with this foundation brush. It is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. It looked amazing on him. I know he's like a fetus, but I'm all for redemption arcs marks, and I'm here to give this foundation another go. So instead of dotting it all over my face like I would normally do with foundation, this time I'm going to, gosh, it's so watery. This time I'm going to take it on the back of my hand, and then I thought I should just dip it, dab some off the back of my hand, and just kind of buff it in that way. Let's just see how it goes. This foundation has the worst smell. It is like your grandmother's makeup. So I'm trying to work fast with this, just so that it has less time to dry down and cause problems. Brush is great. However, I've only done the lower part of my face, and that was 2 pumps of product, 2 whole pumps of product, which pains me a little bit to even pump out a third. And I'm sure the brush is eating a lot of this. Okay, forehead's looking a bit suspicious. Like it's just kind of sitting on top of my skin in a really weird way. Saving the best for last. Ugh, it looks gross, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Cheeks looking okay. Maybe it'll look better in like an hour. Would use this brush again though. It just sits on top of the skin. It doesn't want to blend. I don't know. I'm gonna try and get up a little bit closer and see if you can see this. I have no idea if this is in focus. Okay, at the nose. Let's move on to some concealer. I'm actually really excited about this one. This is the E.L.F. Hydrating Camo Concealer. I was hoping it would be comparable to the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, which costs an arm and a leg. I was really hoping I could find a drugstore dupe for that formula. The doe foot is wildly huge, but I'm cautiously optimistic. Anyway, let's dot that in a couple places. Maybe this will help out in the foundation situation. Let's see what happens if I blend it out with this brush. No. That is lifting all the product underneath. Let's try a sponge. Oh no. Oh, these products do not speak to each other very well. It is lifting the foundation all the way off, just leaving huge patches. I absolutely thought this was gonna go in a different direction today, folks. I really did. Under eyes don't look so bad. I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I avoided my eye area when I was applying my foundation. All right, now that this has had some time to dry, maybe we can, nope. Okay then. So just a big patch right on the tip of my nose, huh? This isn't cute. Let's try and layer this up a tiny bit in those areas. All right, let's see if we can salvage this a little bit. Nope, it just doesn't want to stick. Oh my God, this is doing me so dirty. Having a Runoff moment. That's fun. All the foundation underneath is just completely gone. I mean, this is the last thing I want to do, but let's just see if maybe layering the foundation will help get this together. Okay, I think that's the best it's gonna get. And the foundation still looks like it's just sitting on top of my skin. It might just be because it doesn't work well with the sunscreen I used for primer. I've never had a problem with any other foundation and that sunscreen. I don't know, maybe there's something in here. All right, so part of the problem is probably that the first ingredient in this foundation is water. If there are any sort of hydrating oils in this concealer, it's literally gonna be like oil and water on your face. So guys, I mean, just don't be as stupid as me, I guess, is the moral of the story there. I'm just gonna powder it down and see if we can salvage this. Oh, right, and the powder that I'm using is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I know that this stuff works and it works well. I loved on this powder for a really long time and then just started using other things and never got back around to this one. So I just thought, why not pick up another one and just use what you know works. It is a really good powder for baking. Not necessarily even baking all that long, just applying powder with a sponge. I prefer my loose setting powders to have more of a grip to them so that the texture isn't so ultra fine. I find that those powders tend to crease up on me more. But a powder with the consistency more like unsifted flour just kind of grabs a little bit easier and you can really press it into your skin, which is exactly what I'm doing here because I don't trust this to stay. So we're just gonna pack on the powder and hope for the best. Also, this powder is quite full coverage, in case you hadn't already noticed. So I baked in a couple areas where I just did not want this to move anywhere. I also picked up this other pressed compact powder. This is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Powder Foundation. Has been touted as being a really good brightener, but also I just thought maybe it would look good in all the areas that we didn't bake. I've been a CoverGirl compact girl for a little while. Those ones tend to break on me quite often. I do like a good compact moment for when you're out of the house. Anyway, so let's see what we can do with this powder. All right, I'm just going to dust away the rest of this bake with the powder. The powder is working though. She is covered today. This is not the face I planned to put forward today. Looking a bit Casper. But I think once I douse myself with setting spray at the end of this, I think it should look okay. Bronzer. Now listen folks, if you've been with me for a while, you know that one of my all-time favorite bronzers, the one I use typically in every video, is already a drugstore bronzer. And I know because it gets repetitive and boring, I really wanted to try and find something that I haven't used. And Shoppers actually has that Milani matte bronzer. I can't remember the name of it. Jordy just used this bronzer in a full face of Milani video. Looked really good. Went and ordered that like a couple weeks ago and the package didn't arrive in time. So guys, you're just gonna have to deal with me using the same bronzer that I use in every single video, the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I'm even tired of saying it, guys. I get it. Also, because my cream bronzer is not drugstore, we're gonna have to go in with the powder bronzer. It's doing the job though. At least this bronzer has a bit of a glow to it so that maybe it'll help take down some of the powderiness. Nothing seems to be lifting after I applied all that powder though, so things are looking up. I am going to pop off camera and throw on some brows. I did not pick up any brow products from the drugstore just because there are no brow products from the drugstore that I like. And there's nothing really new from the drugstore in the brow department that is piquing my interest at all. Anyway, that being said, let me just go throw those on and I'll be right back. Okay, let's play with some eyeshadow. I'm just gonna quickly prime like I usually do. I did not pick up a drugstore eye primer either, although I definitely should have. Didn't seem to see any on my travels, and I am not about to be putting concealer on my eyelids and then expecting these old crepey eyelids to not crease up. And I wanted to give this eyeshadow a fighting chance. So the eyeshadow that I grabbed from my local London Drugs is the E.L.F. Opposites Attract palette. It was on super sale when I picked it up. Thought it would be worth having a gander at. I just really like the color story. I think it's very seasonally appropriate and super autumnal. Also getting a little holiday vibes from this corner right here. Have heard good things about this eyeshadow formula in particular, so we're gonna try it out today. I also picked up a couple of these at Shoppers that were on sale. This is the Milani Hypnotic Lights Holographic Eye Topper. Heard mixed reviews about these, but excited to try them out for myself, and also for $8 each. How can you lose? I don't have a whole lot of time to do this eyeshadow look, so we're gonna keep it pretty simple today, folks. Ooh, these grays look really fun. I'm enjoying the tonal quality of this one, and I kind of just want to get into a little holiday kind of headspace, so maybe we'll do a little bit of that, and then just give one of these little holographic toppers a try. Let's start with Witty and see what happens. We might need to blend it out with something a bit brighter later on, but this is a good starting off point. So let's just start tapping this in. I do love me a warm gray. Blending out pretty okay so far. I'm liking that. It's quite dark though. I think I want to blend out the edges just a touch. Let's go directly beside it into Happy and see if we can't lighten those edges a bit. Yeah, just like a hair. I'm having some difficulty blending in this area. That is not the eyeshadow's fault. That is because all the powder is kind of fighting against the eyeshadow primer and creating a bit of a patchy situation. It's okay. Trying to fight my perfectionist side and just call that good. All right, let's get festive with a little bit of this green down here called Wise. Oh, wow, okay. packing that on, and it is quite pigmented. Well, that's nice. What a nice surprise. Just gonna pack a little of that into the inner corner as well. Do a touch of a halo eye. Was not expecting so much payoff from that green, but wow. Well, that is very enjoyable. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a cute contrast. It's like kind of bronze, but it's got kind of a, ooh, I see. It's a purple to gold shift. It is quite lovely. I'm gonna throw down spicy and patting that out with my finger, trying to diffuse the edges. And then let's take the color Luster Light from Milani. Give that a little tap, tap, tap in the center. I'm going to tap that into the center. That totally worked. I want to go back into that green a little bit around the edges to clean up a bit. Hey, not bad. Certainly not the most thought out eye look I've ever done. Okay, tapping into Wise. Let's finish up the lower lash line really quick. Okay, and then into Witty. And then tapping into a bit of Happy. All right, and then a tiny bit of this under the lash line. Quick like lightning, I am going to go and do all of that on the other side, and I'll be right back. Thought you guys might want to join in on the fun of me putting on a lash, and they are a drugstore lash. These are a pair of Kiss lashes. They are from the Triple Push-Up collection, and these are the style Teddy. It is very rare that I find a lash at the drugstore that I will wear more than once, especially when Quo, the absolute worst lash company of all time, has this weird monopoly with shoppers. Thank goodness for London Drugs and Winners. I wore these lashes all through my vacation. They're very comfortable, and I find that they don't irritate my eyes even after wearing them for like a 12-hour period. And I also threw in some creme gel liner from ColourPop into my waterline. This is from the Robbie D. Christie collection. It's the shade Spare Time. Again, I've already used this before, and I know it's not technically drugstore. It is affordable prices. However, you do have to order ColourPop online. It's not the most accessible, but I did think the green would work really well, and it does. Let's quickly finish off the rest of this face. There's a couple new things that I haven't tried yet. One of them being this really delicious looking blush that I picked up from NYX. This is the NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte blush, and this is in the shade Bang Bang. I've been on the hunt for more dusty, cool toned blushes, and they're really hard to find because most people, including myself, love a good peachy, coral, warm toned blush. I've just been kind of in a mood, and I have been for the last few months, and I don't know what it's all about, but I'm trying to follow my heart here, guys. This might fit the bill. And I've never tried a NYX blush formula, I don't think. So I'm using my trusty Duo Fiber blush brush. It's very loosely packed, which means you get a more diffused application. So I'm gonna tap into it and tap some off the back of my hand. And let's give this a whirl. It's actually not as pigmented as I was expecting it to be, being such a deep color, but that's not a bad thing because this way you can build it. And this is proving to be quite buildable, actually. I know that this tone of blush is not for everyone. I totally get that, but there's something so lovely about a muted blush. Now, if you know me, you know I love a good ambient blush. And if I'm going drugstore, the one I usually pick up is the Milani Baked Blush in the shade Luminoso. But because this is a very cool toned, muted look, I thought I would grab my Milani Baked Blush in the shade Berry Amore. I picked this one up years ago when I couldn't find Luminoso. It's not nearly as illuminating as Luminoso, but it still has a glowy element to it. It's like a very toned down version of Luminoso. Throwing on a couple of quick freckles. Ignore her. Don't really know what that was. Highlight. This is the Milani Afterglow in the shade Strobe Light. I really wanted to try this today because I've heard some good things about it. It has a nice texture to it. Very pretty. This is definitely helping with the whole dusty base. Certainly not glittery, and it sits on the skin quite well considering how much product is caked up on my face right now. Texture's not bad. And why not pop that into the inner corner while we're here. And let's hit the brow bone with that too. Nearly there, folks. Let's line the lips with a new favorite of mine. This is a NYX lip liner in the shade Nude Truffle. It's like the most perfect, dark, taupey nude liner. All right, and then lastly, I think to top everything off, I wanted to check out the Maybelline Lifter Gloss with hyaluronic acid. And I thought the shade Pearl would be fairly universal for my collection, so let's give her a whirl. Whoa, she's scented. Wow, that is very artificial. Ooh, and you can taste it too, my God. Consistency though, lovely. It is very Fenty Gloss Bomb-esque. Not sticky, pretty glidey, not overly thick, although not quite as thin as the BH Cosmetics one that I just tried out. I'll link that video up here. And it doesn't do that horrible stringy thing. I guess we can set everything because we're done. Never tried this before. In fact, I don't do a lot of setting sprays from the drugstore, but I couldn't really find anything else. So this is what we're gonna go with. This is the Milani Make It Last setting spray. Okay. Whoa, okay. Oh, it really gets ya. Oh, that is a strong spray. It's okay, I needed it. Wow, that was actually quite shocking. Lovely smell though, and very refreshing. That feels nice. It's almost cooling. Lovely. Before I forget, let's throw on some bottom mascara. All right, folks, this is the finished look, and I think I held it together for this one, guys. It was touch and go for a second there, and it could have gone a number of different ways. Luckily, I was able to wrangle everything, maybe not in first place, but you know, I still get a participation ribbon. All right, what do I think? A lot of the new stuff I tried worked really, really well. This was not one of them. Guys, I think it's just that I use too many hydrating products to make this work. And I'm sure a lot of the hydrating products I use have at least some sort of oil or moisturizing or hydrating ingredient that just does not jive. I'm gonna chalk this one up to my bad. I'm sure if you have oily skin and you use primers to combat that, this probably would work for you. However, that is not me. And so for that reason, I think this is where we say goodbye. I'm not really sure I'm sold on the E.L.F. Poreless Putty Primer. I'm gonna have to try it out with some more beloved products and see if it makes a difference at all. As far as I can tell, it did not. I want to see how this works with another foundation because under the eyes, it actually looked really nice. Don't know yet if it's going to replace the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but I hold out some hope. These two powders really saved my bacon today. I know the Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder is a home run. It's the best loose setting powder you can find at the drugstore. Okay, wow, was not expecting this, but hey, this is amazing. If it's still on sale, go pick it up. This is a great starter palette. For anyone looking to venture out of their comfort zone as far as neutrals go, this is a really nice step in the direction towards color. Really pleasantly surprised with the blendability and the pigment of the matte shades I've tried. I slapped this together in no time flat, and that is a testament to a really user-friendly eyeshadow. And really impressed as well with the metallic. Had a really nice texture, was not dusty or crusty. It was actually quite smooth and silky, went on like a dream, blended out really well. This could make a great gift for a makeup lover in your life. I'd say also, these are on sale right now at Shoppers, and if you wanted to get something that is like a fraction of the price of a Steel and Magnificent Metals, these kind of fit the bill. There's not as many colors to choose from, but this color is really fun, luster light. It does kind of get everywhere, but there's no flaking or creasing as of yet, so I'd say that was a win as well. Also, surprise hit of the day is the NYX Sweet Cheeks Matte Blush. For a shade so deep in tone in the pan, it is really insanely buildable. So you can go as light or as concentrated as you want, and also blend it effortlessly. Really, really happy about this. Also, Milani Afterglow, so good, but it certainly rivals the Maybelline Master Chrome. If you want a highlight that isn't super glittery and doesn't pick up on texture, I'd say go for it. I'm really interested to see how long my face holds up, especially under a mask as I'm on my way home. Apart from the very strong spray, this is great. It felt so fresh and cool on my face. And even even though I'm wearing 5,000 tons of powder on my face, this managed to combat that a little and melt everything into the skin. For me, it feels just as nice as all-nighter. And yeah, lip gloss is nice. It feels good, comfy, not sticky. Also, the scent and the flavor has abated quite a lot since I first put it on. I think that's everything new I tried today. I think we actually came out on top today, and I'm very happy about that. All right, I'm gonna end it here because that is enough of me talking. I wanna know all of your thoughts about these products. Do you own any of these products? Did I inspire you to pick any of these products up and give them a try yourself? Do any of these products really not work for you? Let me know down below. I'm gonna take this cold coffee and rattle off the spiel. Here are the many ways you can help out my channel. You can give this video a huge thumbs up. You can comment down below what you thought of everything. You can subscribe. Any engagement at all with this video will help it out considerably in the algorithm. For small creators, engagement is really key. You can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there. Please go check out my Patreon for more behind the scenes things, chatty videos, get ready with me style stuff. There are also links in the description box to help out with the Senate runoffs coming up in January. And I think that's everything. We're gearing up to the end of the year, guys. This year's been absolute insanity, but I still got a couple more videos up my sleeve before the end of the year is out. So please look forward to that. Turn on your notifications if you feel like it. Just thank you so much for being here. You guys have given me a purpose, a reason to wake up in the morning. So for that, I'm just indescribably grateful. All right, that is it for me. Please stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, wear a mask. Above all else, just be kind, be generous, and if you cannot muster that today, just please do your best. And hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye!